So at this point, you're in Pyeonggi doing the gunpowder, and then they move you from Pyeonggi.
Well, when we were in Pyeonggi, and the Germans were losing the war in Russia, so they retreated back to Germany from one side, and the other side, the Allies in Normandy, in French, in England, and everybody else were attacking them on the other side, in the west. So they're running. So what happened? The Germans loaded up everything from the Pyeonggi factory, whatever they could, machinery, powder, chemicals, and they shipped to Germany. And also, they shipped us. They wanted us to go to Germany, so we had to do marching, and they call it the Dead March. The Germans were retreating, and we were marching on the main roads with the Germans. And if the German army come behind us, we had to get off the roads and work in the fields and marching towards Germany. And if anybody fall down or couldn't walk no more, the Germans guards came over and shot them. And there were a lot of dead people lying on the main highways, in the fields, in the country roads, and the Germans just kicked you in the ravine. You fall down. And a lot of people died. And I was working with one friend of mine, and he said, I cannot work no more. I had nothing to eat. And we worked for the whole day, and he fall down the snow, and he said, I'm not going nowhere. Before I turned around, a German was right there with the rifle and shot him. I had to take off his coat, and I put in his coat, it was bloody, and I washed it off with snow. And I wore it, and I sat there in him for a few seconds, and I said, Kaddish. This is a prayer for the dead. And I cried. And there's another guy, a friend of mine, grabbed me and said, don't stay in here, they're going to shoot you. He grabbed me away and keep going. And I go in a place called Bleichhammer, a concentration camp not far from the German border. And there I met Russian prisoners, I met American prisoners, I met British, a lot of Polish, and a big concentration camp. From there, I saw two Russian prisoners looking around to the barbed wire. And I sneaked over to them, and I followed them. They saw it, and they said, don't follow us. If we can, we will leave. You could follow us too. So I did, sneaked over to them, and when they went in under the barbed wire, and I went after them and went into the forest. And I couldn't walk because I broke into a warehouse, which the warehouse had only margarine left.
Margarine like butter?
Margarine in boxes full of stocks, but nobody wanted margarine. Everybody took the bread, the other food what was around there, but the margarine was not comfortable and nobody. So I grabbed it, whatever I find. So I put margarine under my shirts, I put it in my pants, I tied up, and I walked like a zombie.
So he's covering himself in margarine.
And I was full of margarine, and it was warm, and a lot of them melted. So I joined the two Russians in the forest, and they took me in, and they grabbed some of the margarine, and they smeared at their face, and they smeared it at me, and said, this will protect you from the cold. And I licked it, and I ate. We lie down in the snow on the trees, and we lie there for 6 days and 6 nights. And we waited for the Russians to come in. And one day, we had a bombardment, and the Russian came in. So when the Russian came in, we walked out from the forest, and there were Russian soldiers, and we put their hands up. And the Russian didn't have nothing. They asked us if we carry something, because I said, margins, they make like this. They said, Yidi Chortu means you go to hell. That's what he said to me. He said, we don't have nothing to help, because they don't have nothing themselves.
You're useless,
Russian soldiers,
you just have margarine.
the Russian college didn't have nothing. They were hungry themselves. So we went deeper into the country, and there was the Russian army and a little bit help. We had bread, and there were also a lot of Israeli, they call it delegates, came from Israel to Poland after the Russians took over, and they told us to go back to Germany because the Americans come in and not did it in silence. They didn't tell the Russians that they get out from the Russian side. They just go to the American side. Why? Because the Americans came into Germany. They bring food. They bring places to live, and they created this place, Palestine camps, DP they call it. So I got a room, and I got a place to eat, and food, clothing, and I recuperated. I was skinny like a spindle, and I recuperated. And the Americans said, "Sit here, do nothing. If you have relatives in America, you could apply to a visa to the United States." You know, they helped. The American helped. The Russian couldn't help because they didn't have nothing themselves.